We know this is a challenging time. We know this is a pretty severe occurrence occurring around the world. I like to think long term. I like to think about where we're going to be at some point in time in the future. So here we find ourselves today. We're talking about the future. We're talking about reality. We have this new economic reality which has invaded our space in the last 6 to 8 months. And a lot of us are wondering, well, how do we focus on opportunity when we're in such challenging recessionary times? What do we do to focus on opportunity? And I think the big question for everybody in the room is, when do we begin to innovate? Do you innovate, once we come out of the recession? Do you wait until we know that, we're all comfortable with where we're going in the future? Or do you choose to innovate now? Do we make the conscious decision right now, each and every one of us, that we are going to focus on the future from this point on? I was on stage in October with one of the world's largest organizations, and during this presentation, this is when the market was crashing. The CEO got up on stage in front of his team, and he said, we have 3 choices in terms of what is going to happen with the economic challenges we are faced with. Number 1, we can panic. Number 2, we can choose to do nothing. We can choose to do what we've always done in the same way. Or number 3, with the new economic realities in which we find ourselves, we can change, we can innovate, and we can adapt. Their conscious decision is, we're going to build for growth. We're going to make the conscious decision that we are going to be a driver of that growth. Innovative organizations today are focused on opportunity. I was talking at one event in October as the meltdown was beginning to occur, and the CEO was on stage, and part of his message was, look, given what's happening, we have 3 choices. Number 1, we can panic. Number 2, we can do nothing. Or number 3, we can continue to innovate, change, and adapt. The time to innovate is now. The time to change is now. The time to invest in the future is now.
Hey, it's me again. I found a conference room and a stage that I can go out and share my insight on. Not really. I'm just hanging out in my basement here in the broadcast studio. Now, listen, I'm forcing myself to go live. You might be getting sick of me, but you can always turn away. But what I've got to do is I've got to figure out every single angle and aspect of this whole online broadcast thing. And the challenge is we've got a lot of new equipment, and so there's issues with new audio echo and audio sync, and so I might have a little bit of lag. And I'm also continually testing out new capabilities. So I've discovered how I can show a web page and give a little bit of commentary. And I might do that in future upcoming online webinars. So as I work away in my home green screen studio here, I'm continually hammering away at all the capabilities. Now, I rolled out a new web page just this morning, and it fits into the theme of the video. Oops, I'm on the wrong web page here. That's part of the whole thing of going live. Fits into the whole issue of what do you need to do to innovate in these recessionary and challenging times. Now, what I've done is I've taken and put together a whole bunch of the insight that I've shared over 25 years in how to innovate despite economic uncertainty and downturns and volatility and all that stuff that is just hammering your world right now. So I've launched this webpage. You can find it at movingforward.jimcarroll.com. Oh, and by the way, I'm down here in the corner. There's a little picture-in-picture thing, and I'm just going to take you for a bit of a walkthrough as to what I have on this page. Number 1, quick access to a short little video I did on 3 keynote topics that I've launched for this era of the eventual post-pandemic reality. Volatility, uncertainty, ambiguity, and agility, how to innovate despite lingering economic uncertainty. A video that focuses on the keynote topic of the trends that are being defined between now and 2030, and leadership strategies to go forward in the future. So give that a watch. That'll give you a quick little insight into some of the things that I've been working on. But then what I've done is I've summarized some of the thinking which I've put out there over the last several months in terms of initiatives, the mindset that you need to be thinking about. Now I'm running on different machines here, so I've got to make sure I get on the right page. What I've pulled up is some of the blog posts I've put out that give you the proper mindset. This one, and never doubt for a moment the benefit of initiative. What happens in a period of economic uncertainty is a lot of people pause, they wait, they go into that state that I've long talked about called aggressive indecision. You've got to get away from that. You've got to establish an action-oriented mindset. And you got to realize that you've got to do that now because things are speeding up out there. One quote I wrote one day is that the global pandemic has created a war between fast-moving organizations and fast-moving events and slow-moving organizations struggling a little bit in terms of the mouse speed here. This is why you go live, because you discover all the things you can do. Fast-moving events, slow organizations, who are you and what are you doing to align to the reality of that? Are you stuck in a rut, frozen by fear, given what is going on? Are you stuck in a pandemic rut and find the switch to activate your tomorrow? That's a key aspect that you need to be thinking about. What's your mindset on when we're going to be out of this thing? Look, obviously you watch the news, there's a whole bunch of people that think a magic button is going to be pressed and all of a sudden we're out of this pandemic. That's not the reality. We're in this world for quite some time. In the absence of a vaccine, in the absence of a herd immunity, in the absence of countries that have the maturity to deal with the reality of what science is throwing at them, we're in this virtual world for quite some time. So that's part of the mindset that you need to be in for recovery. You got to think big and bold. You won't get ahead by being small and timid when these biggest, boldest challenges of your lifetime are unfolding all around you right now. I'm convinced there are companies right now who are inventing a new future, inventing a different future. Every single recession before us has taught us that those who innovate in lingering economic uncertainty are those who win. 10% became breakthrough performers. So all of this is found on this page, movingforward.jimcarroll.com. It's there to inspire you to try to charge ahead and get in the right mind frame. And that's a recovery mind frame. And it's dealing with the reality of what's going on. That's volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity. I mean, it's all there. That's your future. It's not going to go away. You've got to learn how to innovate and get ahead and have a leadership mindset, which is going to get you there. So you'll find that in the front section of the page. And then I get into some fun stuff. 10 reasons why companies fail at the future. What causes us to freeze in this period of economic uncertainty? Go through my list. It's the fear of the unknown. Inertia is easy. It's easy to avoid decisions, and unwillingness to confront reality, a culture that's risk averse. You're paralyzed by the fear of failure. Read the list. See which ones you're suffering from and think about what you need to do to get around that. To give you a little bit of insight on that, I've put together a section which has some video clips which can help you. I've been working hard down here in the home broadcast studio to put together a whole bunch of video that can help you get in the mindset as to how you recover. So there's ones about the topics that I'm putting out there. There's video clips like the one you just saw in the intro to this clip about how do you innovate in a recessionary time. And then to discover the magic that is helping me pull all this together, there's video clips about what I'm doing down here in the studio. Last but not least, how do you become action-oriented? Stop waiting, start doing, kill indecision. Don't seek certainty, it's gone. You have to innovate in uncertainty, take on more risk, volatility demands it. There's a great little list. Again, you can visit this webpage at movingforward.jimcarroll.com. And again, why I'm hanging out here is because I've got this studio. I got to figure out how to master all the components of this, because guess what? Client inquiries are coming in. We're seeing bookings on the horizon. I got to make this work because this is my reality, and the only way to ensure that I can deliver on this reality is to come down here on a regular basis, go live, work with the equipment, figure out what's working, figure out what's not working, and just hit that live button and make it work. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. Tomorrow is Canada Day. We seem to be doing okay up here with the number of cases going down and a very responsible, mature attitude towards what's happening. Kind of interesting to see what's going on in other countries. What you got to do is stay safe, be smart, wash your hands, wear a mask. Okay? Futurist Jim Carroll, over and out.